Have you wondered why it is so vital to listen to your parents? It is currently 1 a.m. I am in my house. Wooden walls, blue sofa, carpet floor, just how it has been my whole life. My parents are sleeping. Luckily, they soundproofed their room because they yell at each other and don't want to disturb the entire house. So now, even though they said no because my 9th birthday party is too recent, I am throwing a party. I will invite all of my friends. My little sister Alice keeps being as annoying as a mosquito about it, constantly nagging me, saying that this is a bad idea, but I don't listen to her. She's only 3, so the things that come from her mouth are mostly random dumb stuff. I have invited Bob, Samuel, and Gus. Together, we will have the party of the century. Samuel is the first to come. He came by car because his big brother, Tom, is 17 and old enough to drive. Now, all the 9-year-olds are here, but none of the 8-year-olds. I wonder where they are. I show Samuel around, and he seems excited to party. It has been 10 minutes since Samuel arrived. Where are the rest? I hear the doorbell ring. I wonder who it is. It's Bob. I greet him. Hello. I show him around just like I showed Samuel around, and before I even know it, they're already playing a game together. The game they are playing is called Mr. Car. The game doesn't have 3-player, but it does have 4-player gameplay. Now I really want Gus to arrive. There he is. We all play video games together, but Bob seems to be playing aggressively. At the start of the race, he made his character kill Gus's character before doing anything. I won the game despite Bob's aggression. We all played more video games than you will play in your life. Then, every single one of us ended up having to use the bathroom at the same time. When we all get back, we play for a few more hours. Gus keeps losing and losing, over and over again. He gets so upset that he throws the controller at the wall. What everyone sees is shocking. My parents have died. There's a knife in my father's chest and his blood everywhere. There's another knife in my mom's throat, but her blood isn't as scattered. Even Alice can see it. Samuel enters closer into the room to check if it is real or just a very sick joke. Immediately, a knife falls from the ceiling like an unstable light bulb and goes straight through his head like it's a cake. We all panic. We're all going to die. Gus decides to call 911 but is too scared to talk. A few hours have passed and no one additional has died. Maybe this is just some sick joke. We all calm down and I go to the bathroom only to find Alice dead on the toilet. Whoever is doing this must be trying to be subtle. We were correct originally. We are all going to die. Quickly, I leave the house with Bob and Gus. We get into my mom's car and I drive as far as possible. We go to the woods and build a hut. The hut is as small as a car, but as good as a modern home. Gus and I accept Bob's advice of creating a back door in case we need to escape. My friends and I all go to sleep, knowing that the bad man can no longer harm us. I wake up and find that both Bob and Gus have knives in their heads. The one in Bob's isn't very deep, but deep enough that I know for sure he is dead. The killer must have followed us here. I immediately leave the hut, but what I find surprises me. I see a gun on top of the roof. I quickly climb up a tree and grab the gun. Suddenly, I see a silhouette of someone with a bloody knife. I check the gun, and it's loaded. I point it at the silhouette. "Show yourself, now!" The person steps closer with his hands up. It's Bob. I shoot at him with my gun, but it has no ammo. Bob runs closer to me, and I am defenseless. He stabs me in the chest, and I lose consciousness. I wake up in a basement. Everything is made of rusted metal. The only light source is a small candle hanging from the ceiling. The dead bodies of all of my friends are here. There is a door, but it is locked. I take some of the knives and wait for Bob by the door. I overhear a conversation outside. Bob says, "But Mom, you know how important it is to me." Someone replies in a feminine voice, "It doesn't matter how important your Halloween bag is, you still can't be killing people just because they robbed it." Then I hear stabbing noises. "Ow, stop it, stop it, curse you." Then Bob comes closer to the room to dispose of his mom's body. As soon as the door opens, I immediately jump out. I'm ready to fight my friend to the death. He jumps towards me, knife in hand. I dodge out of the way and I swing my knife at him. He blocks the knife and sends my arm backwards. I throw my shoe at him, but he slices it in half. Then he charges at me. I jump over him and land behind him. I swing at him, but he knocks the knife out of my hand. I fall to the ground, now defenseless. Then I see his phone. I jump towards him and grab the phone. He runs towards me, but I move out of the way. Then I try to call 911 but can't because I don't know the phone passcode. It's a 3-digit code from 0 to 9. I press the passcode hint button. The hint is increasing order, no repeats. The second digit is 3D. You get 3 attempts until this phone explodes. I think for a second. How can a number be 3D? It's a number, not a shape. Oh wait, it's a cube. And the only perfect cubes from 1 to 9 are 1 and 8. If it was 1, it cannot be in ascending order, so it is 8. This means digit 3 must be 9. But the first digit, what is it? I try every possible number. 7 doesn't work. 5 doesn't work. One more attempt. I must be missing something. But there aren't any more clues. I try 4. It works. I call 911. Now it's only a matter of time until they arrive. Bob swings the knife at me, but I grab it. I cut my hand very badly. I fall to the ground as Bob shoves the knife into my chest. Then I hear banging on the door. The door breaks. It's the police. Bob is distracted, so I run out the door. I watch the fight happen. Bob manages to somehow kill both of the officers and dispose of everything. He grabs the taser out of one officer's hand and tases them both, then stabs them. I flee before he notices my absence. I go home. I like being at home. It just isn't the same, though. I feel a sad feeling inside. None of my family is here. I go to bed like I should have done a long time ago. Wait, what's that hanging from the ceiling? Start another story title is Hold Still. The cashier's voice ran around the entire market, reverbing as it echoed off of the walls. It can only sense things which are moving, so hold still, said the cashier, inanimate, but pointing outside where he seemed to have seen something out of the corner of his eye. I slowly avert my attention to the area which the cashier is pointing to, expecting a vicus animal, but did not see one. Instead, I saw a monstrosity. It was tall, its skin was black, and its head had an appendage that seemed to look like a top hat. Its movements were jittery, shaky, and broken. Its eyes shone a bright white, piercing through the road adjacent to the market which had now appeared to darken, adapting to the presence of the being. After a short moment, the lights turn off. A switch sound piercing through the total silence of the motionless market, which was once bustling. I looked towards one of the light switches, seeing a man, sheltered from the entity's view, holding down the light switch with shaking hands. The expression of the cashier who shouted the message had darkened, his head turning slightly as footsteps seemed to grow louder and louder, getting closer to me. I turned around once more and saw the figure, almost touching me, which appeared to be almost twice my height, and it was staring straight down my soul. Its eyes were oval-shaped, and they were sharply staring at me. Psst! The cashier whispers to me, sounding irritated, veins almost popping out of his head and sweat flowing like rivers down his ireful face. I slightly turned my head so that I would be able to view both the entity and the cashier in the same range. It can't see. It can only detect movement, but it has to be traceable. What I'm saying is that you can sneak away, but you have to be slow and efficient. Don't trip, or you're done for. Follow my movements and move your feet in a way that can slightly shift your position. The cashier's voice was calm, almost as if he had dealt with this same issue before. However, it needs you to look away also to kill. But too much of either component in a single swoop of motion will mean you will not survive. If you don't, please meet my Father in heaven if there is one, and if he isn't in hell. He had an encounter with the exact same entity, and let's just say he wasn't lucky to have the same advice as you or I did. I have experience. I was there when he died, and I could tell from the entity's behavior that it was of this pattern. Believe me, I'm a witness. So, just keep looking at the entity and shuffle over to me while I call some people to take care of this anomaly once and for all, said the cashier. I follow the order carefully, making sure the entity stays in my field of vision while I shuffle over to the cashier who is handling a phone, blindly, typing in 811 instead of 911. Sir, you're calling the wrong number. The number you are calling is not 911, if I needed to let you know. An abrupt voice sounds from the phone, making the creature slightly turn its head over to the area where the voice had come from. Sir, are you a scam caller? The voice grows louder and it sounds angry, thinking that we are attempting to scam call them while he had accidentally called the wrong number. The cashier drops the phone. Oh my fricking God! The cashier grunts, arousing even more attention to us for the creature. Low whines from customers arise, and it seems to catch the monster's attention. The first body falls as the monster shreds the person who broke the rules of stay still and keep looking. A flurry of more customers starts moving, trying to move away from the scene, but it only makes the monster kill more people. Meanwhile, I am watching this happen. Pick up the phone for gutter's sake. The cashier points with his index finger to the brick-resembling phone which had appeared at my feet. But the monster will kill me if I move, and I don't want to die, I say. The cashier scowls. I thought that would be a perfect way to kill you. What? You were helping me a second ago, I say. It doesn't matter what happens. I never get a break, and neither from this tyrannical creature. I've seen the boss simply scoff and then just package the human remains, advertise them as mincemeat, and there, done with. The cashier lets out a low growl. The cashier pushes me, and I bump into a counter, disabling my movement as I just fall to the floor, paralyzed. Enjoy being mincemeat. Please rate this a good market in the afterlife. Before I even realize it, the monster dashes towards a paralyzed me. It stands over me, its appearance intimidating, white, glowy eyes glinting as if they were stabbing holes into me. It attempts to speak, but it's a mix of unintelligible vowels and consonants jumbled together, its voice low and growling as it tries to bark out something remotely human. Jack, op valve. It raises its hand, claws coming out, blood stained, dripping. It slashes, turning my body into an unrecognizable mess of flesh and battered meat. The only thing I hear before this is a mix of the voice on the phone, the screams from other customers, the cashier chuckling as he smirks and everything goes black.